Richie steps out of the car and the city noise hits him differently today. There are no guards, no assistants, no shiny distractions, just him and the street. That's when he sees them, a group of kids sitting near a broken sidewalk, laughing over a homemade game drawn with chalk. Their clothes are worn, their shoes don't match, but their laughter is real. One of the kids looks up and notices Richie staring. Instead of fear or jealousy, the kid smiles and waves him over. Richie hesitates. No one has ever invited him like that before. He walks closer, awkward and unsure, and asks what they're playing. A racing game. One of them says, holding up a bottle cap like it's a treasure. Richie is stunned. He owns real race cars, yet he has never looked that happy. As they talk, Richie learns these kids skip school, often not because they want to, but because they can't afford supplies or fees. One boy casually mentions, maybe next year I'll go back. That line hits Richie harder than any insult ever could. For the first time, Richie Rich feels small, not because he's weak, but because he never knew this world existed right outside his window. Richie decides to spend the whole day with them. No luxury lunch, no air. When lunchtime comes, the kids split one meal between them, insisting Richie take a share. He refuses at first, then accepts, embarrassed by his full stomach from breakfast. As the day goes on, Richie notices the little things. A girl coughing nonstop because she can't see a doctor. A boy hiding his torn notebook so others won't laugh. Kids doing math in their heads because they don't have books. Richie tries to help by offering money, but one kid gently says, "We don't want money today. We just want someone to listen." That moment changes him. Richie realizes throwing cash won't fix broken systems or lost hope. That night, back in his mansion, Richie can't sleep. The silence feels heavier than ever. He looks around at his endless toys and feels guilt instead of joy. For the first time, he understands struggle not by losing wealth, but by gaining awareness. He whispers to himself, "This isn't fair, and I can't ignore it anymore." The next morning, Richie doesn't call for new gadgets or vacations. He calls for plans. Real plans. He starts by talking to the kids again, asking what they truly need. Not what adults think they need what. They need education, food, safety, a chance. Richie begins funding a small learning center near their neighborhood, but he doesn't put his name on it. He sits in classrooms, listens to lessons, and watches kids who once had no notebooks now writing their dreams on paper. There are problems, of course. Some adults don't trust him. Some kids think it's temporary. Rich people always leave. One boy says quietly. Richie hears that and promises, "I won't." He hires teachers, brings doctors, and sets up daily meals. But more importantly, he keeps showing up day after day. The kids start believing. Smiles grow wider. Dreams grow louder. Richie isn't just funding change, he's part of it. And somewhere along the way, the lonely richest kid in the world finds something priceless. Belonging. Months later, the transformation is impossible to miss. The same kids who once sat on the sidewalk are now reading out loud, arguing over answers, dreaming about becoming teachers, engineers, and doctors. One child proudly shows Richie a test paper with top marks. "This is because you believed in me," the kid says. Richie shakes his head gently. "No," he replies, emotional. "This is because you believed in yourself." As Richie looks around, he realizes something incredible. Helping others didn't make him poor, made him fuller. Richer in purpose, richer in connection, richer in heart. The story doesn't end with a celebration or applause. It ends with a quiet truth. You don't need to be born rich to change lives. You just need to care enough to start. And that's the real legacy Richie Rich chooses to leave behind.